Good. See a lot of heads going, yup, but no.
Tua, what does it mean to be back out here on day one of training camp? What's the feeling? What's the attitude? Is it different from other years?
Well, I think every year you wanna think it feels different. You wanna say it feels different. Uh, but I mean, it's like any other year. You get your time off, then as you're kind of slowing down that time of being off, you sort of miss the guys, you miss the camaraderie, you miss the locker room talks. You miss you just miss that community in a way. It's always good to have your family around, but I know it's a little different. It really is a different world when you step into the locker room. I think a lot of the things that are said in the locker room too, and you can't really say it out in public as well. So I think that's what makes it great, and wanting to come back, wanting to get to work with the guys and things of that nature.
Does that seem to have more of a bunker mentality, more of a us against the world mentality? It kind of seemed that way with Bradley Chubb and Alec Ingold when they were speaking, but is that accurate, Eagle?
I think there's a lot of guys that are taking on more of a leadership role and coming out to be more vocal, in front of the guys, in front of the team, but not just saying things, allowing their actions to kind of back up what they're saying as well. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's a bunker mindset or a bunker mentality where we're all kind of hunched up and you know it's us against the world. Really, it's us against ourselves is kind of how we look at it. And what are we doing every single day to get each other better? But then what are we doing to get ourselves better, to get that guy on the other side of the ball or the guy next to me better? So that's what it is.
So, what does Minka Fitzpatrick bring?
He brings another Alabama player. I mean, I don't know that I have so many good things to say about Minka because when I was there my freshman year, that was his last year. Before we ended up parting ways when he entered the draft. But I have a lot of good things to say about him. The mentor in a way that he was for that locker room back in 17 year and 18. I mean, the leadership that he gives off, sort of the standard. Like I was talking to Mike about it too, with Mink. There's the standard, and then there's like someone that you can look at and you can say that's a standard. And like I can't put words to what that standard is, but I kind of want to gravitate towards that person, and I think that's what Minka gives off.
Yesterday, Tyreek talked about being the best version of himself, keeping the focus on football. What have you noticed changes in him from the end of last year until today?
I think there's a lot more vulnerability with Tyreek. He's conversating a lot more with the guys, not just about football, but about things off the field. Being vulnerable with some of the things that people know about his personal life and things of that nature. And I think that's the first step to him building true relationships and a real connection with a lot of the guys in there. Everyone knows what he can do on the field. Everyone respects what he can do on the field. But I think, he's still trying to figure things out for himself as well. Kind of the man he wants to be. He's not too young. Like everybody makes mistakes. It's just some people, they're in the spotlight, and their deals get pushed out more than some others. So, just got to cut him some grace. I mean, that's our teammate. We love him, but as a person, if you get to know him, I think you'd love him too.
Tua, you talked about Tyreek and relationships. After what he said last year, at the end of the year, did you guys have to rebuild your relationship together?
Sure. I would say we're still continuing to do that. But it's not just with me. It's with a lot of the guys. I'm not the only one that heard that. You guys aren't the only people that heard that. A lot of people that follow football, that follow the Miami Dolphins, that follow Tyreek, that are fans of his. Everyone has seen that. So when you say something like that, you don't just come back from that with, hey, my bad. You got to work that relationship up. You got to build everything up again. And yeah, it's still a work in progress, not just for me, but for everybody. But like I said, he's working on himself. He's working on the things that he says he wants to get better with and do better on. So that's the first step to me, and so I commend him for doing that.
Tua, you've been open about, wanting to stay healthy and be there, available for your teammates. What are some of the things that you implemented in the offseason that you're, putting into practice now for training camp and then moving into those preseason games and obviously the start of the season?
I would say the first thing is it's a mindset thing for me. Like I've said in previous interviews, is this the right thing to do in the heat of the moment where I got to make a split decision on should I go for the first down? Should I not? Should I, do this on fourth down? Should I not? And then given the circumstances, right? Is it to go to the playoffs? Is it to win a must-win game? You got to throw all of those in there. But I think the most important thing is, I gotta be more selfless instead of being selfish. And I'm thinking this is what the guys want from me. Well, I don't know that because I haven't talked to them about what do you expect from me to do in that situation. So to cut everything out, it's slide, just get off the field, give yourself another opportunity, and if that opportunity doesn't avail, you got the next week to go out there and prove yourself or prove to your team that wasn't what it was. So, yeah, I would say it's a mindset thing for this offseason.
What was something on motivation, self-motivation? Is there something you do or think about or process when you need to motivate yourself?
Yes, I watch a good amount of podcasts, listen to like a good amount of audio books as well. I'm reading a book right now, so that's kind of like my process with like before I go to bed. Kind of helps like with the dreaming aspect of it. You kind of go to bed, you kind of think about it, think a little more about it. Sometimes you get aha moments. As you're sleeping, you wake up and something hits you in that sense. But I would say that's what I do in terms of motivation. And then, you can take little snippets of what certain people say or little quotes in the book, copy paste it, print it, put it on your locker, things of that nature to always remind you and get you back in the right frame of mind.
You know what you're reading now?
I don't know what I'm reading. Funny. I don't know what I'm reading right now, but yeah.
I want to ask you about when did you know about the Minka trade and what was your initial reaction to it?
I didn't know too much about the Minka trade. Try to stay, away from what they got going on upstairs with the talks with other teams. But when we ended up getting Minka, I thought that was unique because Minka started out here and then going there and then coming back. I just wasn't sure how Minka was going to feel about that, given the prior scars that he had with what the media portrayed was happening behind the scenes. And then, there's just things that, I didn't know where his headspace was. Had lunch with him on Sunday, got to talk to him about a good amount of things. And it's not like catching up like with me and J-Dub, because I'm on the opposite side of the ball. I only had him for 1 year. And I don't know, it's probably 6-7 years that I've seen him since. I'm a different person than I was in Alabama. He's a different person than he was at Alabama. So just kind of getting to rekindle that fire of a relationship with him. But I'm excited. I'm excited to have him. And we're going to see. I mean, we're competing right now, so it's good fun.
So John was somebody that you were pretty close with off the field. What was your reaction to him being traded?
Well, throughout that entire process, I was talking to John, who was trying to figure things out the same way he was trying to figure out things through his agent, and then I would also be talking to Chris and whatnot. I mean, at the end of the day, I can't do anything about it. He did all he could to put himself into the position to go up to the team, negotiate, make all the money he needs to make, to help set up his family. And, we talked about it, and when he got traded, I messaged him. I mean, we talked for a little bit, and, I mean, that's my boy. Like I love John, but that's how the league works, and that won't change the relationship I have with him.
So, what do you think needs to happen to restart the connection with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle this season?
Say what?
What do you think needs to happen to restart the connection with Tyreek and Jalen this season?
I think you continue to work with those guys, right? Tyreek wasn't here as much practicing during OTAs because he had his surgery. He had to, do things to make sure that he was ready for training camp. And with J-Dub, we had those reps in OTAs. We had some reps during the off season when we were gone. So that to me, that's all it takes. It's continued reps, continuing to communicate through what you see, what I see, and then we kind of maneuver it through there and we adjust. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, I put mine around here.
We all have.
You got Austin Jackson here for y'all.
Thank you for doing that. I gotta do that.
Sorry.